What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of SW Live. It is Wednesday, February 7th, 6:30 as usual. Well, we're a little wait. We might be a couple of minutes past two, just two. I try to start on time, 6:32. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about any of that. Just know that we have a great show planned for y'all today because we have a wonderful discussion, something that I've been wanting to talk about for a minute, but I wanted to make sure we had a good set of people to bring on and have this discussion. So I think we do. I think we're gonna have a good fit today. So welcome to another episode of SW Live. Welcome, y'all. First and foremost, of course, we want to make sure everybody is well. We're gonna go. I'm gonna bring on my guests, and we're gonna go around the room and let them introduce themselves. Tell them they're gonna let us know how their week been going. All the good stuff because we care. This is a show about caring about the people who look like us. So, in that case, in which that is the case, before we jump into the show, we're going to do our quote of the day. Y'all know how important that quote is for me. It actually gets the vibe of the show, the rhythm going. It allows us the opportunity to get to know each other and get a little feel of what we're going to be discussing and who we're going to be talking to. So, super important, super important. We're going to jump into the quote with the introductions. I'm going to start by bringing on our first panelist, which is Miss Tamika Renee. We're gonna bring her on stage and let her tell us who she is, what she does. If that, whatever intro you want to give, it's not. We don't have to be all business like, but we do want to let them know what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? So, welcome, Tamika. How you doing? Did I mute you? Hold on, let me unmute you. Boo. Hold on. Sorry about that. Oh, it said you chose to mute yourself. You gotta unmute you.
Look,
There you
I'm
go.
here now. Hey, everybody. I'm Tamika Renee. It's a pleasure to meet everybody. Some of you already know who I am, and others, there's new faces. I'm happy to be here. I own a boutique here in Tampa, Florida. We're doing big things down here. It has been an amazing week. This is where I'm always at. If you want to come find me, pull up on me in Tampa, Florida. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And what mall are you at again?
University Mall, Tampa, Florida.
Okay. So, if you need something, the women need something, the men want to go grab something for their ladies, this is the place to go. Great clothing, great quality, um,
Yes.
exceptional customer service, all that good stuff.
Yes. All of
So
it.
trust me, she ready for you.
Yes.
Uh, our next panelist is Mr. Xavier Ward. Let's bring on Mr. Xavier Ward. Hello,
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 everybody.
hello.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. How you doing, Mr. Ward?
Pretty good. First time. I'm Xavier Ward. Currently work at the prison right here in Tallahassee. Married,
Lean up,
family
lean up,
guy,
lean
family
up.
guy.
You went low, like mumbly
I
when
went,
you backed up.
I went too low. What about now?
You perfect now.
Okay, yes. My name is Xavier Ward. Work at the prison. First time on the podcast. Good topics. Ready to get at it.
All right, Mr. Ward. Thank you for coming on. Mr. Ward is going to be one of our married panelists. Tamika is going to be one of our single panelists. Let's see if Miss Sharika is available. It looked like her camera isn't on. She got to give it the permission. So we're going to let her get herself together and we're going to bring her on stage when she is ready. So for the people that we have here right now, we're gonna put our quote of the day up, and the quote of the day is something that I like to drop so that we can have a little bit of a discussion on that. It kind of is like an icebreaker to get the show going. So our quote of the day is: Black love is not just about two people in the relationship; it's about the community that surrounds them. What do y'all think about that quote?
I think it's a valid quote for where we are at today.
Can you expound on that a little bit?
Let's see. um, it's not about the people in the relationship, it's about the community that surrounds them. So if you've got a community that surrounds you, that holds you accountable in your relationship, I think that's truly what it's about. You've got, you know, if you're in a married man, if you have a married man and he's got a whole bunch of single friends, they're gonna always try to pull him out. But if he has the proper village and community surrounding him, it it promotes a healthy relationship.
That's correct. That's very good. And it gives more of a valid reason to want to be able to stand in the paint for what you believe in, because you got
Hmm.
people that are holding you accountable for what you say you're gonna do. It ain't just I'm gonna do this. I'm talking the game. I'm walking it too.
Right.
So very much so. What do you think, Mr. Xavier?
Yeah, what she said. Yeah, but no, it's true. It's about community, that relationship, that belief system that you have. That's what I would say. Just to touch on, even with, I'm a people person, so I like to have fun. I like to talk, meet new people. So even with the single guys, I feel like if you use that opportunity, that environment the right way, you can teach. You can give them the game also. About standing true on their word or whatever.
Very much. Okay, I'm gonna bring on Miss Collins. She's going to, and when I bring her on, Rika, when you come on, you just let them know who you are, um, and anything that you want to share about yourself. Okay,
Hey
welcome,
everyone, my
welcome.
name. Hey, how you doing? Me and
Hey, girl.
technology got a love-hate relationship, so y'all work with me. But my name is Sharika Collins. I'm one of the married panelists. This is my third time with Shelby, so she kind of liked me a little bit. I'm here in Tallahassee, Florida. I am the founder of Collins and Co., which is a new thing. My companion care and my husband's cleaning services, and I just got my real estate license. So I got a couple of little things that I'm dibbling and dabbling in this year, and I'm very excited about it.
Congratulations, real estate,
Thank
baby. Go
you.
on, get that money.
Yeah,
That's
my first check already spun. It's already gone. I'll be responsible with the next one. The first one is mine. I'm gonna come see you in Tampa, okay, Tamika
Come
Renee?
on, girl. Come on.
I am.
He said it's already spent. That's that bad. That's when you get bags though, you can talk like that. You can be like, I already done spent that
Yes.
bag because it's coming in next week. It'll be here. It'll be here.
Yeah, it's already gone. I don't work hard. I'm gonna enjoy it.
So, what do you think about our quote today?
Hmm. I would say the accountability and responsibility for me is really on the person. I mean, whether you're in a single setting or a married setting, your loyalty, your accountability, your responsibility needs to be, to your home life. You can go out and be a single person with married people. You could be a married man, go out with your boys, but the accountability and responsibility is on you. Nobody made you do anything. You know what I mean? In
That's
part,
right.
I do agree with the other two panelists too. You also want to surround yourself with people that's gonna have your best interests at heart. Meaning your single friend is not asking you to do marriage stuff, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, whatever it is that my husband decides to do is not gonna be my issue. Is not gonna be with his friends. It was a choice.
Mhm.
I've always believed in that. I think because I hate the whole term "birds of a feather flock together,"
Yeah.
because I'm gonna tell you something about me. I got some hoe friends, some business friends, some get money friends, some hustling friends. Because people love me and I love them for who they are, there's no judgment. So, of course, I don't believe in that whole birds of a feather flock together, but I do believe that the older we get, certain people will fall off. I do
Mhm.
believe that. I don't always think that you're going to be able to be around the same people all the time because of certain things that are going on in your life. But that doesn't mean you have to stop talking with them and dealing with them. I know which friend to bring to this function. I know which friend to
Mhm.
bring to this function. I know which friend to bring to this function. So, I don't use my community as a way to hold me accountable. I use my community as a support system. I use my community for the things that if I say what I'm going to do, make me accountable for what I'm going to do. I'm not like making you accountable for what I'm gonna do, if that
Right.
makes sense. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So yes, that's our quote, y'all. But we got some juicy stuff going on in the topic area today. And I feel like I'm sending y'all the stuff early. I never really do that unless it's a one-on-one interview to let the people know what the questions are going to be. I like for stuff to kind of just like float and get the conversation, get the people going type of stuff. But this time I wanted to send the topic so that I can have you guys a little bit more in a thought process. You've already had the opportunity to think about certain things, and now when you don't have to study it, you just want to make sure that when you come, you know what you're talking about. You full circle in your stance, because this isn't a factual where we're coming up to say this is a where you had to go look up something to basically respond, but you do want to know what's going on in your community to be able to talk about this. Because when we hear people describe certain things that are happening in the world, they describe it as if they've experienced it all. And in most cases, you're just going off of what you see or heard another person talking about. We haven't done or seen half of the things that are being that are going on in this country or in this in this world, to be able to have an opinion on everything. But today we're going to talk about things that actually matter to us, because we are black. We are black women. We are the black men. And we are the people that have to deal with certain things, these patterns, these stereotypes, these particular things that are being said about us out there in this community. So today we're going to talk about it, address it, and see if we can come up and see if we can produce some solutions. Because what's the whole point of having the conversation if you don't have a solution for it? Okay, y'all ready?
Ready.
We
Ready.
ready.
Okay, there you go. Because you was muted. I know you
Yeah.
mute yourself because you get in the store and stuff.
Yeah. You never know what you're gonna hear walking by.
I know that movie. Oh, baby, let us hear it. You
Yeah.
listen. You don't hide it from us. We want to know what's going on over there.
Try to
Universe.
hide our ugly here, okay?
Okay, so one of the things that we have been experiencing in the black community is the hatred between black men and black women. And they call it hatred. I think it's resonating energy. I think what people receive from certain people in the community is what they give off in the community. You know what I'm saying? I don't always think that they feel like it's everybody, but at that particular time, they may feel like the whole black community could go to hell just because of something that one black man did or something that one black woman did. You know what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden we all ain't shit.
Right.
So because y'all know how
Right.
that goes,
Yeah.
y'all know. It's one thing happened to one person, next thing you know, the whole community ain't worth a darn.
Right.
So the hatred that's there is riddled, and a lot of it doesn't just come from us as a people. It's ingrained for us to find things about each other to make our own decisions or our own unconscious beliefs about that person. Some of that hatred is literally ingrained in us.
Mhm.
So what do you all think when we're discussing this, when we're discussing the hatred between the black men and black women? What do you think some of the things that have caused this particular hatred amongst us?
We can start with slavery, separating us by color. You know, you can start there. Um, I have watched Hidden Colors, and it was a very, very, very good documentary. I think that one of the things too, which was still a part or an aspect of slavery, if you will, when homes were broken up and black men were taken out of the home and being, sold for services and systematically, then you have the government providing, black women with government assistance. So it's the whole thing of you don't need a man. We'll provide you with Medicaid. We'll provide you with food stamps. We'll provide you, with housing. And then I think too, it's the conversations that we'll have with each other about not needing a man. You know, it could come from someone who's had a bad experience with men. It could come from someone who, I hate to say it, can't get a man. And so your happiness can make them feel some type of way. So it's just a lot of different working parts, if you will, that I feel like contribute to it. And then we get on social media and we magnify it and we just publicly like attack each other. And not to say other races don't do it, they just don't get on social media and do it.
And what? Great point. That's an excellent point. Why do you think the black race has to be seen and heard? Why do you think we as a people have to have our negative stuff so seen and so heard? Because that creates more of the separation between us. Because we feel like we got to advertise every negative statement. It got to go viral.
What negativity trends? I could put a positive post up.
True.
My boo Tamika can put up a post about her business and so forth. Not in the space that she's in now, because like she big business. She just did her thing with Drake, so she big Mika, not little.
Big
big Mika,
not the little one.
Okay?
Not the little one. Okay.
Yeah, not at all. Everybody know that's her man, so that hit a little different. But it trends, and people are like they gravitate towards negativity. I could put a post up about me leaving my husband today, and this, the hell with me and blah blah blah. I may get 20 shares, but I posted my business stuff last week, and I got 4. So it's not catchy. It doesn't appeal. Positivity, for whatever reason, is just not attractive. We don't cling to it. Now the why is what you asked, and I can't answer that. But
I was gonna say we haven't. That's the thing. We I think we all know the why, but I think what we don't have is the solution to change that. Because even if we decide in the 40 plus crowd, because we cause a lot of drama online too. If we decide in the 40 plus crowd that we are going to not participate in it, it may trend in that crowd and slow down in certain areas, but every part of the world won't gravitate to it. Just as like when it comes to the younger crowd, they were like, we ain't on that. That's what's popular. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's how they make their money. If we're talking about the tone of society right now, these people are making their money completely off of the negativity. So do we have a winning chance in that situation? Do you see a resolve for that? Mr.
I mean, if you look at it kind of, my perspective is my reality. So we might say it's negative, but that I'm putting up a negative post. But if my perspective is my reality, as far as I look at it, as far as coming with that, I'm not going to say hatred because it's such a strong word. And me, I look at hatred as an emotion. So something has been done for you not to believe, maybe in your community, maybe in the person that you with, maybe in your friends. So especially through Black and come through marriage relationships. So when you look at that, if I've been raised to be an independent Black man, I'm gonna kind of get in a relationship, and I'm gonna look at it more as kind of like, do I really need my wife? Do I need her for this area? Do I need her for that? Because sometimes I think what you've been taught, and like you said, ingrained. So for something to be ingrained, it's been taught. You understand what I'm saying? So now I have this perspective of that women maybe, not beneficial. Yeah, not beneficial to me because maybe my mother she was out of the home or she was in the street. So now I have a problem with trust. So it's not the hatred, but it's something that I've been taught. Like you said, what's the solution? Maybe counseling, prayer, changing the environment you in, your friends or whatever. So, I look at it, it's negative, yes, but my perspective is my reality. If I've been through something, and you haven't been through it, you can't change my reality because I lived it.
Okay, that was a huge set of points, and it made, and a lot, every last one of them makes sense because it gives you, it's your experience, it's what you're going to bring to the table with your family. It's going to be how you bring it to the table. And like you said, if a person is taught to be an independent man, because we do it, just like women are raised by just women alone, men are raised by men alone. And there, some of the things that they're taught in their reality is definitely going to be different than what we're taught in our reality when we're raised by a single mom. So yes, I think that the quarrel isn't, I would, what I will say is this, I wish everybody could have been taught the same shit. So so you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how they used to do in school where this class get taught, every class is taught the same thing so that when it come to the test, you gonna all have the same information. It's not like that. Parenting don't come with that book. How you, most of the parents that are raising you or have that opportunity, or most of the people in their lives that have put their hands on you and taught you something, is from their own experiences. So we know that growing up, we have to listen and do what we're told because that's what we're told as kids. But as we're walking into adulthood, our whole transcending era starts to be a little bit different, especially if you start to outline yourself with people that are not like people that you grew up with. And that's what a lot of us don't want to do. We like comfort zones. We want to stay around people who look, that have been through the same things that we've been through, because it makes us feel more comfortable. You don't want to get into uncomfortable situations because they tend to make you grow. And that's a problem with a lot of people because they don't know, and they also are ignorant because they don't know that staying in a certain situation is going to continue to keep me in this situation.
Correct.
It, you
Yeah.
know, so when you know better, you do better. That's the outcome I was coming to with that. We have to start being more accountable and understanding of the fact that everything that we grew up with wasn't everything that's out there. Everything that we were taught wasn't everything that's to learn. It's a lot of things that we have to step outside of our bounds to start to want to actually experience more things. And that brings us to the next point of how, what are some of the things that created those hostilities? We said earlier the hatred and how we were raised, and the government stance on things, making the government your daddy, making the government the kid's daddy, when in actuality they could just have their daddy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that worked against us. But why do you think our culture was the culture that was chosen to be the one that was obliterated with all this negativity? Why do people get to make money off of us? Why do you think we were the chosen ones?
Because we allow it.
Oh
I think a lot of
shit.
times that we
Now
allow it.
that's accountability for your ass right there now,
Yeah.
Tamika.
Yeah. We allow it. Again, negativity sells. You walk into Target, and today I saw a whole wall of Black History stuff, and I'm like, oh, were these made by Black, creators? No. How do they get to celebrate Black History Month? And we as Black people, we will run to Target and buy all of that stuff up, where you have a small, boutique or a store, or, people who have online shops who are, being creators of this, of different, Black history designs. We won't support. We'll go pay Walmart, we'll go play Target, hell, we'll go to Goodwill before we go support one of our own. And that's just what it is. It's we have to hold ourselves accountable.
Really.
Yeah,
So
but where we lost that at though, we had to lose it somewhere.
We
Because if you
did.
look, I feel like it go back. I'm a youngin, so growing up, kind of seeing the Family Matters, Cosby Show. You
Mm-hmm.
seen black. We got a chance to see black excellence on TV,
Yes. Yep.
but something changed.
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't
We
get a
became
Okay.
chance.
monkeys. We
Yeah,
became
we didn't get a
monkeys.
chance to have access to Black excellence. It was almost like they dangle it in our face, like this could be you, and we just had to figure out a way. The way we
Mm-hmm.
navigate things is 10 times harder than any other race.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will
And
get
we
that
do
to
have
my
to.
people. It's 10 times harder. You know, you talking
Mm-hmm.
about 400 years, an acre and a mule and whatever else ahead of us. Everything is so much harder for us to obtain.
Mm-hmm.
So for some people, they'll keep pushing and they will end up, with this thriving business in the university mall in Tampa doing
Mm-hmm.
great things. And some people will tap out and say, you know
Mm-hmm.
what, it's not for me. Let
Right.
me, and no shade to it, but whatever it is, their government assistance of some sort, and take it because, like Xavier said, like kind of going back to culturally what we seen, my grandma, auntie, cousin survived off of it. I don't need
Mm-hmm.
much to survive. So, it's your reality of what you were predisposed to will either make you want more or be comfortable with what you had growing up.
And
Correct.
everybody's not gonna have the same thought. There, some people
Right.
gonna be like, "Well, Mama
And
did it,"
we
and
always say that
yep,
Black
Yeah.
people are lazy. Black people are not lazy.
Right.
no,
We were called lazy after we started working for free, but
Right.
And I,
we're not,
some of them
we're
lazy
not,
now.
I mean, like as a
not as a
whole,
True.
you know what I
as a
mean?
whole.
As
We
a
ain't talking about
whole, we're no more
and that's
lazier than white people. We're no more lazier
exactly,
than Asians, Mexicans,
exactly.
whoever. But
Well,
all of
that's
the
what,
negative stereotypes fall on us.
and that's exactly what it is when we're talking about, because when we're talking about community aspects, we ourselves would be the big degradation to our communities.
Mm-hmm.
They only get the stereotypes from us. If they
Correct.
don't hear it from a Black person talking about another Black person, baby, let me tell you something about me. I don't play that shit.
Mm-mm.
You will not have me in a room with Black people and a white person in the room, and I'm in here down talking to a Black person in front of this
Mm-mm.
white person. You got me confused. I don't even
Mm-hmm.
play that. And I feel like that is an issue because so many people allow that. They accept it. They stand there, and then now you feel like now they know if I can do this in front of her, in front of him,
Mm-hmm.
I can get them to kiss my ass, and they'll tell me anything else I need to know.
It's like, how do they get so comfortable though? That's
And
the crazy
but
Right.
part.
and that's
We are dismissive of a lot of the stuff that we
Uh-huh.
we
hear.
too dismissive.
I went somewhere. I won't say where I went. I went somewhere recently and I
Mm-hmm.
asked the lady, I was like, can you make me the Douce version of the Henny Reader? Because I don't like Henny. So she said,
Mm.
okay. And I quote, it may not be as good as Top Flight, so I hope you like it.
Excuse me?
So I look at my husband like, what? And because I'm a person, and if you know me or if you communicate with me, I'm like, I'm Black 365. I always say I'm Black
Yeah.
365 days a year and twice on Sunday. Like I'm Black, 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 Black. Like it's my tolerance level for anything against us is just at zero, like Shelby. And I'm like, it may not be as good as Top Flight. I hope you like it. Now, somebody will say, well, no, she just saying Top Flight makes the best drinks. But I'm always thinking, like, well, what
No.
makes you think I go to Top Flight?
That's
Like,
that's what my
makes you
thought
think
is. Why
that
Yeah.
what
I
put
would
me
even
at top
compare
like?
your drink to Top? Like, my husband call it hidden racism. Like, you just have to be
It is.
mindful and of the little things that you hear, and you get that feeling in your stomach. Whatever it is, like when somebody has said something disrespectful to you, whether it's me
Mm-hmm.
saying it to Xavier saying it to Renee, you know it. But we'll dismiss it and say, nah, Xavier didn't mean it like
You
that.
try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like,
Yeah.
no,
And
you
then
meant
you
what you
let
said.
somebody slide and they say, they
Yeah.
cha-cha.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. You give
They
them an
try
inch, they'll
try
take a
all
mile.
the time
Yep.
too.
Yep.
All
Yeah.
the time.
Yep.
What we got a comment that says we don't control our own narrative, and I wanted to feed off of that a little bit more because this is one of the bases as to why the script changed on television.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for one, I want to say, for one, the negativity of Black people wasn't ever the most positive on television. Let's just go
Right.
ahead and put that out there. Let's say that point blank, period. No matter what television shows we got to display, like with the Cosby Show, that's going to be a different standoff show, period, because
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cosby wrote and made sure that things that happened in that was going to be positively displayed about Black people. Point
Yeah.
blank, period. He owned that. That was not a choice of just the writers. If I don't like the script, we not doing it.
Right.
That's the control he had, and that's why he's been silenced. So when
Mm-hmm.
you have a certain level of control, you don't get to have people tell you what to do and what to do. They hate you inside, but in front of your face, they're gonna smile because they know you got that money and you got that power.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say that's one of the first ones that was able to actually do that. Now, Black people have never controlled television. And what is said about us, we can go all the way back to Good Times. We can see when Good Times got ripped
Good night,
apart
guys. Good
on
night.
a very disturbing thing that happened on that show. And I do know that the lady that played the part on Good Times, she said that if she didn't have a husband on the show, she wasn't going to do the show. But if you all notice that throughout the whole show, not only was she the reason why a lot of things were negatively happening to their family, because she stepped over her husband's thoughts and feelings a lot. You saw a lot of Black woman independence in a marriage, and that was kind of like the common method of how they wanted to paint us. We don't listen to our man. We
Mm-hmm.
don't respect our man. That's
Mm-hmm.
the theory and the paint that was placed on the Good Times show. So when you see a lot of people say James was this type of daddy, he only had control over being a daddy. And she still stepped into that. He still had to basically go get permission on certain things that he wasn't allowed to do. Then she turned around and started dating another person, put her kids out the house, let the man come in. It's a lot of things that happened on that show that made us realize that Black women had a very, very negative impact on television. So to feed off of that, they created other shows. Now
Mm-hmm.
we got these reality shows where Black women beating up Black women. We got
Can't stand it.
oh, I don't even watch them. But I mean, it's entertainment for a lot of people, and it is what
Yeah.
it is. But because of just my stance on a lot of shit, I can't even give it time of the day because I be wanting to be like, what really? Y'all done lowered y'all standard to 20,000. Now you got $20,000 for this whole season to get on here.
But you know what the root is, though, right?
Self-hatred.
It's
And
that money.
it's always about the
Mm-hmm.
money, but
Yeah.
money leads, but you gotta have a whole low level of self-esteem to sell yourself for that amount of money.
Yeah.
I will also
20,000
add
is a lot.
opportunities, though. I will also add opportunities. We don't have the same opportunities to be on TV and in movie roles or whatever. So it's like this is my window right here
My
to get
breakthrough, yeah.
and have, a TV media presence. So
Mm-hmm.
while everything else is true, that too for me is a factor. Like the opportunities that are present to us to be in these positive roles or any roles, if you will, are very limited. It's
That's
almost
because,
like
and also
say what you can get.
and that's also due to the fact of what we've allowed. You have How many times have you seen certain actors, real actors? Because a lot of these people, if we being real honest, a reality TV show is garbage anyway because of the simple fact that what are you doing? If you have the opportunity, this is what you should say. I'm not coming on that show unless you finna paint me in a good light.
Then you're not gonna have a job.
Well then,
Yeah.
oh
The
well,
ratings go down.
I'm gonna go and get a real job. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just gonna go and get a real job then, because if that's gonna be the case, if I gotta sell myself just to get just to be on TV to look a certain type of way, what am I saying about myself? What am I teaching my children? To lower the boundaries, the standards of what they could be doing because it's easier to go in here and be a fool and act a fool to get this 20, 30,000.
So that brings Selling Tampa down here. Well, the show Selling Tampa that aired down here. Um,
Yeah.
that show is canceled because of that. Those ladies stood together and said that no, we're not going to, act our quote unquote color just like production wanted them to. We're going to act just like the characters on Selling Sunset because this is what we're doing. We actually have a real, what do you call it? A realty practice where we sell luxury homes. But the executive producers wanted that group of Black women to be ratchet. They wanted them to argue. They wanted them to gossip. And then they also wanted to bring in a Caucasian female to add to the negativity. So those young ladies, they stood together and was just like, no, we do this in real life.
And
And that's when they decided to, to cancel it. So yeah, they lost a bag behind it, but they stood together, and I think that's very admirable.
and if you're really selling and you're getting that money anyway, you're getting a bag anyway. So
Exactly.
so that extra is just really exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And all exposure ain't good
That
exposure.
is
It don't
so.
matter.
Exactly.
It don't matter
Exactly.
what type of exposure you get. Sometimes some of that can be the worst for you.
Yep.
And don't they always say the internet it never leaves the internet. It never leaves.
Never,
Never
ever.
leaves.
And if you ever watched that show, it was so good. That
Yeah, it
selling
was amazing. Mhm.
it was good. Like that
Amazing ladies. Yep.
reality show that
I
I watched because it wasn't like a reality show. Like
Mhm.
it was really good.
and that's why they got rid
Yeah,
of them. You
unhealthy
cannot
Yep.
change.
conversations without being
Mhm.
confrontational,
Yep.
all of that. Like it was a really good show. And
Mhm.
like, Renee said, they didn't do what the norm is, but they took a stance and they walked away from it. And they
And but
still
that
sell
is
it to
think about that. If we do that more and more, if you're
Mhm.
taking a stance and standing for something more on a positive note, and say I'm not going to do this, then think about how much money they losing off of us.
Exactly.
Think about that. Like
Oh yeah.
we have way more positive stuff going on in this world as a whole than
Mhm.
we have negative. But the negative implementation of those things have been what's been getting the attention.
Mhm.
So let's see. Almost almost lost us, y'all. We'll get caught up in one part of the conversation and forget to move on. So but that was good though. I like that. I really like the expounding
Can,
on that.
can I say something? Can I say
Yes,
something,
go
please?
ahead, go ahead.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm on here with 3 Black women. I thought I was going to be on here with another male.
I don't know where he at right now. He's a very busy male though. So
Okay.
he's a very very busy male, and I really wanted him here because he's a statistical Black male, and
Okay.
he studies these things. He works in these in community service with Department of Health and doing a lot of different hands on things in the community, which is why I wanted him to be here to be a part of this conversation. But I know Joe probably been like, they probably gonna tape the show today and then we'll record it another. He like that because they so strategic with their. We on a podcast network. It's called Freedom Train Network. Y'all follow us. But he's very busy, and I'm talking about they're the producers of all of our network, so they got a lot of
Okay.
hands in the. And I really 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 wanted him on here because he would have been able to like have you got your spiel, he have his spiel to me, everybody would have been able to bring a whole lot of more juice to the table. And we good now, but I hate when it's just one male. But you got some males in the comments, people we got some people commenting that's men. So you know your own.
And we got your back. We don't bite.
Yeah.
You
I was a little nervous at first. I was sweating. I'm like, Lord Jesus, what they gonna tell me out the frame? But
no, no, no. We ain't like that anyway. We ain't like that
Yeah.
anyway now. But okay, so are we now? This is one thing that I wanted to bring up because I'm big on accountability and responsibility for yourself.
Mhm.
Um, hold on. We don't know our power. Yes, that's big, Diallo. That's huge. And then here go Enigma to I could have called my other bro. That's another one of my podcast brothers right there. And he's married. So we needed a single person, and Joe's a single one. So that's why Enigma not on him. Because we got a married woman, married man. Then I got you, bro. See, I'm telling you, they got your back. And he talking about why you nervous, fam. Don't be nervous. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Where is Joe? Pat, go find Joe for me. Pat, the other producer, y'all. I got my whole family on here tonight. I'm so happy. Look at that. His big brother watching, he's good. Okay, look at the big brother of Mr. Ward. Y'all all good. Look at that. I told you guys some people in the comments that was here to support you, Mr. Ward. You good. And your wife in the comments. Look at that. You got some team and support system behind you. All
Good
right.
community.
Tamika, we
There you
outnumbered.
go.
How back up.
I know that's right. Got that community with them. I'm telling you. All right. Are we willing to be accountable so that our future can incorporate the things change? Because the things changes that we need to bring our black men versus black women thing to an end. Do you think at some point accountability will stand strong in this situation? At some point, do we got any hope? Because y'all, I tell you, I'm at an 80-20 now. I used to be 50-50 with the hope, but
Yeah.
I'm at a strong 80-20 that it's gonna be a fight, a strong fight back. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're talking about things that we're talking about hatred and all kind of things that have been embedded in this culture, this black culture for years and years and years and years, that have taught us to say that one of us better than the next. Somewhere
Right.
along the lines, we done got into that beyond the idea of it being that way. We have created a whole lifestyle
Mhm.
behind the fact that I'm better than somebody else because you got a house, you got a nice car, you got a big rock, you got certain things that other people don't have. So now we looking down instead of making people feel more just like they're on the same level. We got a lot of work to do. But do you think that we have any chance, a fighting chance of pulling accountability to make this something more strenuous, make our community more strenuous?
Yeah, it'll start with the parenting.
Mm.
I come from a black household. Everybody on here come from a black household. So if you taught that, hey, you a leader, you gonna be first, you competitive. It the drive that you've been given, the drive that you've been taught. So it's not that I think I'm better than somebody, but I can't help what happened in my household for them to teach me, to give me these guidelines to life, to say, hey, look, you can't accept mediocrity. You gotta give it 100 every day of your life while you living. So I can understand the accountability, but then again, I coached and now it goes to everybody win a trophy in life.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest. Everybody don't win a trophy in life, bro. If you don't
Right.
get out there
Right.
and if you don't get out there and bust your behind and you don't put forth the action and the work and the dedication and the commitment to it, nothing for nothing leaves nothing.
Right.
You don't plant a good seed, don't expect to reap good fruit. That's just the way I look at it. So I'm not gonna lie. So if me being accountable is teaching my kids not to be boastful, but to not have a sense of work ethic or a sense of just integrity that comes when they're working, or in life, or just the values of life. To be honest, it's going this right here gonna be like that. It's gonna be the same. I'm not telling them to go out and feel like they the best, but if I'm teaching them, hey, like, you the best, they hear this for 18 years. You asking me to break 18 years of training? It's not gonna happen.
So even okay, so competitive lifestyles and sports and living, two totally different things. Because I totally agree with the whole. You supposed to. I'm. Is no participation trophies. I believe in that. Totally. But what I do feel is that when we're teaching our children certain things, we forget that they still have to go out into a world with other people that aren't taught those things. Yes, it's not our responsibility to fix what other people aren't taught, but it's also our responsibility to prepare our children for the world. So in preparation for the world, they got to run into all type of backgrounds. They got to run into all type of people. And when your kids are taught, when you teach your kids a certain thing, that's the standard of who they're supposed to be. That's going to groom them for the world. That's definitely going to do exactly that, because you supposed to be teaching them for the world and preparing them. But also we're teaching emotional value. We're teaching understanding. We're teaching empathy. We're teaching sympathy. We're teaching all those things. We're not just teaching you to go out and just be a person who is a competitive being. We're also teaching you to know when to be competitive, when to put that to the side, because this person may not understand what you're doing. It's not always about being a winner or a loser. Sometimes it's just about being a person.
Yeah, okay, so from that perspective, so I'm looking at it as far as like I'm gonna teach my kids have respect, care about others, help somebody if you can, but I'm not gonna teach them to dumb themselves down.
Never. No, I would no, of course not.
Don't
Of course not.
don't don't dumb yourself down. So the accountability, like I said in the beginning, it falls on the parent. So you got to give these kids all these tools, and just, I mean, even with us reconstructing all tools, reconstructing our mindset, how we think. Like I say, I'm not telling you to be boastful because I want you to respond out of love. So what I do teach my kids is that, hey, I've been in the workforce for a couple of years now, so I understand that even with you wanting to go and be the best, you still might not get the promotion. So now I'm gonna help you control your emotions to where I don't want you just to feel like because I put in hard work in life and I'm taking this accountability on this thing that I'm entitled because I do hard work. I'm entitled for the next promotion, or I'm entitled to this, or I'm entitled to that. No, I don't teach them that. I teach them, hey, a hard work is just going to be instilled. That's part of your character, whether you get what you want or whether you don't. I'm not telling you to go out and treat people wrong. No. But what I am telling you is, hey, take accountability in what me and your mom is training you to do, teaching you, and go out and be the best. And I think, like I said, like every black household is getting this training. Every black household gets this training. I'm not going to even say to the point of every black household. I feel like every race in America is teaching their kids, hey, go out and be the best.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't
I
agree
don't
with that
think so.
either.
I don't agree with that.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
As a
no.
social worker checking in here,
Yeah.
I definitely
Yeah.
I don't agree with
Yeah.
the fact that
You
I
everything you said is good though. I no
Yeah.
no
yeah,
no, and
no
trust
shade
me,
or
when I was
anything.
responding, it's not to you. It's not to your statement as a whole. It's because we have a lot of people that have that concept. And
Mhm.
so even in that, I'm just basically saying that we do have to be able to, when we're teaching them this, we have to make sure that we're doing the other foot too. Sorry about that, Sharika. Go ahead, honey.
It's okay. And I mean, naturally it's a platform. So we're all going to have different views and perspective on situations.
Mm-hmm.
Me saying I disagree versus that's not true is an attack on you. You know what I mean? Like to say that's not true. That's not true. Like, no, you can't tell nobody that's not true. You can disagree.
Right.
But you can't tell him that's not true. But just from my 15 years, like working hands on in social work case management, I would have to say that what we're taught in the house, is gonna be different. Just how me and my siblings were raised. I'm my mom's only child, but well, that's not important. I have enough siblings. And we were raised different. What our values are, what I believe, just a different system. And then another thing that I also don't 100% agree with is when we say that it starts with the parenting. And while we do have an instrumental role and how we set our kids up and, you know, and prepare them for the world, I think it's fair to say that we all at one point have done something that was not in line with the morals and values that we were taught at home. And I know I have a teenager, you know, so I be like, nah, wait a minute. You already know I don't even play that over here.
Right.
I don't do this. And I tell my son all the time, like, when you go out, you're not representing you. You're representing my household. And whatever you do, they're going to assume that we allow you to do that. And you need to be mindful of the settings that you're going to put yourself in if you don't have the self-control to still be the person that you were raised to be when you're in these settings. Because that's a reflection of him. I'm never going to say it was by his friends. You can be friends with whoever you want to be, just like Shelby started the call with. But you're going to have the accountability and responsibility of how you respond to those situations.
Okay.
I saw one in the comments too, kind of want to put, I guess, the kind of perspective on where we all at as married and single people. I like one of the young ladies' comments about, you know, like, we have to remember, like, you know, our mother, sister, cousin, and so forth is Black. And this, of course, isn't a Black men versus Black women. For me, it's just kind of like us against us sometimes. And so, you know, you hear sometimes, like, you know, with the social media trend of, you know, men wanting women that look exotic and they got to be shaped a certain type of way and their hair got to be a certain type of way and they have this kind of look. And hold on, because it's not a male bash, because then you have these women that's like, I don't eat at the Cheesecake Factory and I don't eat here, and you gotta have a Benz to come and pick me up. And if you don't got 6 figures, you know, I'm not dealing with you. Like, we just have all of these superficial things that we base like love and attraction on, that we have really lost the whole value of really like friendship. Like, you know, like kind of like getting to know your partner before you get to know your partner. You know what I mean? Establishing that friendship, courtship, dating, and then getting married. I don't know what my buddy position is on the matter, but I would say, like, for me, being married is having a boyfriend on paper. And I say that because whatever I was to him as his girlfriend, he's expecting that as his wife. And sometimes we change and we're not fun anymore. And we don't want to do all the things that attracted our spouse to us in the beginning. Now we married, he got me, I got him, and they think ain't nobody going nowhere. And that's not the case. You know what I mean? So you still have to be what that person was attracted, you know, to or whatever. So it's I could just go on a soapbox, but
that's another topic.
Yeah. Yeah, we gonna have to bring us back for that piece.
Yeah. That's another topic.
Yeah.
In retrospect, though, I got some other comments I want to drop up here real quick, but this comment right here, when Patrick said, "And no, as long as it's on the parents, it's not gonna work." And the reason why the community word is so big in my box is because you cannot it never was the parents' job alone to raise children. It's always been about the village. When we became the type of people who decided it was just our job, that's why kids so fucked up now. And if we're being honest, I don't care what you do in your house and try to make your kid the best out of who they could be. Without people looking out for them, they're nobody. Point blank, period. I need Betty next door to know when my kids walk in the house and let me know who walking in behind them, Betty. I need to know that. I never cared about nothing about all that nosy talk, or the neighbors need to mind the neighbors' business. I'm old school, baby. I was raised with grandmothers, aunts that we call big aunts. It wasn't just you had to put handles on names when I was growing up. It was always Auntie Essie. It was never just Essie. It was always Granny, whoever which Granny it was. It was never just you. When we lost so much, because, and it's our fault. It's our generation's fault. If anybody want to be honest about it, it was the people that was born in 1982 and up that was having children.
Get out of here.
That decided that I'm not gonna raise my kids the way my mama raised me because my mom was too hard on me.
Yep.
My daddy was too hard on me. All that too hard got you making decent money, got a decent house, got a decent job. All that too hard taught you responsibility and accountability. It taught you how to be responsible and respectful. Now y'all want to be y'all kids' friends. Now they don't need to talk to other parents with or other people with miss. I heard a child the other day that was 6 years old call a lady Laura. That's a grown ass lady.
Yeah.
Y'all
But
y'all want to be friends with y'all children now. Y'all have lost the value of what real parenting is. That's why it was so many people in the community that stood in and helped out. It wasn't just about the young 24-year-old mother because she couldn't do it on her own. We knew that she couldn't do it on her own. We knew that she just became a parent.
yeah, but
So
times has changed. Your mama used to beat your ass back in the day.
what's wrong
You
with that?
can't touch them now.
No, wait a minute. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that.
Nope.
You
But
saying they can't do it anymore?
They can't.
Yeah, you can't.
They can't do it.
Who
It was
can't?
a book. It was a book they wrote in the 90s. A Child Called It. If these parents tried this crap now,
That's
it is
because
not.
y'all kids ain't scared y'all. Ain't
It's not.
nobody. I don't care if you pick up that phone and call who. You
No,
finna
but they
be
go.
moving with who?
But they go back to what I'm saying. It start with when I say start with the parent, the guidelines to success in life. It starts in the home. The Bible say, train up a child in the way that he should go, that he should never depart. And if he do, this child will return. So that foundation starts here. But you can't have that found and this so I want you to think, more when I say it start with the parent. Bro, if you a parent, and I'm not trying to be funny, but you can't raise these kids. Like a lot of these parents in this generation, they depressed. They trying to find themselves. They trying to social media. You got all this, like we say, negativity that's going on in the world. And now, when I was raised up, my parents didn't have that. My mother didn't have that. So all she knew was being a mother. I don't think she knew what Thailand even existed. You understand what I'm saying? She didn't understand vacation. But now you have it, and like I say, back in the day, these parents, they could instill these things in you. They had the patience, they had the perseverance to raise you and to work with you. Hey, look, you need to do it like this. You need to do it like this. Do it like that. Do it like this. And I'm guilty of it. In this generation, we working hard. We on social media. I can attest to it. I'm guilty of it. And sometimes you do miss the mark with your kids. But in reality, it starts at home. You can't expect these kids to go turn 18 and be productive citizens if you haven't instilled this stuff at home.
It has to start at home. You're
It
definitely
starts so
guaranteeing that. But I will not say it starts at home, but it doesn't stay. It don't end there. That's
no,
not the only place.
no,
But
that come through what we were saying. I'm so sorry. I'm
no, you're
passionate
good.
about this.
You're
I'm
good.
so sorry.
No, you're
But
good.
That's good.
What
It's
you
good.
apologize for?
that come through that, like we said, that community now, what they build on the outside. Okay, so that it starts at home, but with that community that's on the outside, they know, man. Trust me, I was raised in the church. Did I do stupid things? Yes, but I had a filter on how much stupidity I was gonna do, cause I was scared of disappointing my parents. I wasn't scared of the
It was a
police.
fear factor of respect as well, and that's what I'm saying. And I would say this though, our parents back in the day had way less time than we have now. We
Oh
choose
yeah.
we had that they didn't have enough time to develop because you had some parents that were single parents had to work 2 and 3 jobs just to be the older child. I could speak that for myself. I became a parent at 14 because younger because I was the oldest and my mama had to go and work all these jobs to continue to be that person. Now the respect that I have for her is just that, but she still made that choice. It was still her choice to do that, have these kids, bring them here, have to figure out what to do for them, and she did that. We can't. It's not a whole lot of difference beyond the fact that what's more available to the children now. We have more resources as parents, and the kids have more ways to get in trouble now. That's
Mhm.
really what more. It's just more. It's so much more, and that's what they're going to keep doing. Is going to keep producing more distractions, ways that you don't know how to communicate, ways that you can't talk to your kids because y'all raising them with phones and tablets, and it's 1 and 2 year olds know how to work computers better than grown people because
Right.
y'all are, it's parents are lazy. They ain't
Mhm.
depressed, they fucking lazy.
It's convenient.
And that's not
And
what
I would
parenting is.
disagree with
Parenting isn't a convenience.
parents not
Yes.
being depressed. Yes, I think systematically we are told like we don't, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't hear any other race but ours have this strong black woman. They're not strong white women. They are not
Nope.
strong Asian women
White men.
or
Mm-mm.
anything. And I think that we are taught so much to be strong and take everything in stride that we have a lot of broken women around here,
Mm-hmm.
Broken man.
raising broken
Yeah.
kids and
Raising
broken,
broken kids.
relationships or
Mhm.
whatever. And I think that like emotional cognizance and awareness is important. I think that the validation of what people are telling us is important, whether we can fix it or not. I know culturally, I have had conversations with people in my family, and they're like, "Oh, child, that's nothing." Because I just talked to Renee, and she got X, Y, and Z going on, and it
Right.
totally dismissed what I was feeling and what I
Mm-hmm.
had going on, and made me
Exactly.
feel like, how could you be complaining? Because about this when Tamika is in Tampa doing that. Well, that is
Mhm.
significant, and that is traumatic for her. But it does not make what I'm going through less significant to me. And
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
culturally,
Agreed.
I can't speak for any other race, and I don't know if it's fair to speak for the black race. I know for my family, we measure how you should be feeling about something based off of what somebody else is going through. And I
Yep.
teach how I raise my boys is I look at it like this. I don't want a man without feelings, and I don't want to send my boys out there in the world
Without knowing
with
how.
women
Yep.
that don't have feelings. Everybody need to
Correct.
know how to feel. You
That's
need to
right.
be
That's right.
able to tell your girl, I'm not having a good day today.
Mhm.
You need to be able to cry, laugh, snot, whatever you need to do
That's a
with her. I don't want no strong black man. I want my man to be able to come home and tell me how his job, excuse my language, had him fucked up today.
Yep.
Talk to me. Let me know what you going on. You are not less of a man because you're feeling down today, or I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. I'm not happy. We need to be able to have these healthy conversations. So I
Yes.
but you
do
You
Agreed.
think
never
that
hear
but you know
nobody
what?
saying strong white woman or strong white man. You don't hear that stuff.
no,
It's
Never.
strong
Look,
you
warrior.
look,
never
look,
heard
look.
nobody say, I'm a strong white woman,
No.
No.
flipping their hair back.
It don't even sound
And I'm
right.
not no strong black woman. I don't want to be that no more. Take me off the strongest
No.
Look,
soldier list.
look.
I don't want to be a no limit soldier no more.
Right.
I'm, I'm glad you said that because the black man raised in a household, I know coming up in the time I did, you could not cry. You could not express, like you say, this stuff is deeply ingrained in
Yeah,
us.
it is.
Like
Embedded.
from one thing, like you said, this is something we inherit. This is something that we come through. Bro, you could not cry. You could not express
What you
yourself.
crying for?
What are you crying?
Right.
Boys
Yeah.
don't cry.
What you crying
Mhm.
for?
And
Suck
so,
it up.
now the new generation, they look at men and they call them what? They sassy. You
Mhm.
know, I follow some of them on Instagram or TikTok or whatever like that. Now the new tag is, oh, these men are sassy because they can express themselves. I think the black man in a whole in the community, bro, we had to compress who we are. We had to compress
So true.
that. We can't come like think about it. If you like in reality, if your husband came home today, boo-hoo crying about he don't enjoy his life, it's a sense that, and I'm not saying you, but it's a sense that the average woman gonna look at him and be like, hey man, pick your
It ain't
head up.
But guess what though? The average woman ain't got to deal with your husband. And guess what though? You marry somebody that's going to be understanding and sympathetic to who
Right.
you are. That's what a lot of
Yeah.
people. That's the problem right
No,
there with a lot of relationships. People are
Sometimes,
not
Shelby.
equally yoked.
Sometimes.
no,
Because we got broken people together. Sometimes.
We
we
ain't got no
we got
equally yoked partners. Y'all got to
sometimes.
get with people. You got to get with people who understand you
Yes.
as you.
Yep.
You learn that while you're dating. That's why courting is so important. That's why
Yep.
learning your partner is so important.
That
Getting in these
unconditional loving.
relationships and not knowing who you in a relationship with is why y'all got broken families, broken children, broken homes, kids that don't know what real love is, kids that can't cry, kids that have no emotion, kids that don't know nothing. That's why we say it starts with the house, but it can't stay at the house.
Right.
We
Yeah,
always
no.
know that your parents don't know everything. Your
Right.
parents don't know half of
They're
everything.
learning as well.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody learning, especially if we talking about people who were raised in broken homes.
Yep.
So
I was always
yeah,
taught people that's courting is the biggest liars in life because they trying to be perfect.
well then and I'm sorry. That is what that, and when you see that, if you catch them lying, you supposed to dismiss them. What you waiting for? What you staying with
Yeah.
them
Man,
for?
You're not supposed
you
to
ain't
stay
finna
around.
catch you ain't finna catch nobody lying when you courting.
Yes, you is. Yes,
Yes,
you
you do.
is. Yes, you
Trust
do.
How?
me.
That's why you got to know
You
who you're
do.
dealing with. It's important. But
You do.
Hey,
this statement, this comment that's on the screen right here is super important because I want to respond to that, because the reason why I said parents are not depressed is because ain't nobody start being more depressed until 2020. Ain't more people in the world have been the most depressed since they learned what depression is.
well, they
And
spoke
how
up
they
on it.
use it as a cop out now. So now everything leads to depression. I'm suicidal. I'm this, I'm that. Now, I do not take away the claim of depression. People are tired, they're exhausted. Parents need a break. That's simply clear in there. But needing a break, being mentally exhausted, and all of that is not just what we're gonna sum it up to as depression. Everything is not a depression.
Nope.
Everything isn't now, because we run into cop out terms now because we don't want to deal with our children. And the reason why I'm saying that is, if you look at this statement right here. When what Patrick said about the depression, they are depressed. They are depressed and all these things because they have too much freedom and exposure, no structure, no purpose. And I get what the brother is saying, but there has always been community involvement. So therefore, there is a lot of people using that word loosely because they know that they can throw it around.
Yep.
It's not just something that you can everybody's not going through a depression. Y'all don't want to deal with y'all damn kids half of the time. You don't want to deal with life. Just like we just said earlier about Tamika. She in a store. I mean, what Sharika just said. We can't say that I'm going through something because the only person that should be going through something is Tamika, because she over here in the store, she got a whole lot more going on. That don't make her more of a sound reason to be depressed. No. So we're not going to use what people are going through to be their depression. We're going to see how you deal with what you're going through. That's going to verify and rectify if that's what it is. Go to the doctor, get clinically diagnosed then. If you want to claim that title, go get diagnosed. Everybody want to sit up here and claim stuff and ain't never been told by no damn body they depressed.
Other than themselves.
Yeah.
I
I don't know.
And it's
Like I say,
environmentally depression.
I always look at it. I always look at it two ways. So me when I speak of depression, I speak of it that people that have been diagnosed, like it's that come with that compassion, that empathy. It's some people like I'm gonna just always believe it's some people that's out there that's really they struggling.
It's not.
They
That's happening.
they struggling. So I can't speak from my perspective. Like you say, I might be exhausted or I might be tired. I might be exhausted or I might be tired. That's my story, but I can't speak for somebody else to say, like, I feel like it's insensitive, even if they self-diagnose themselves, for me to go back and say,
I'm not gonna tell you you're not depressed. I'm not gonna take away what you feel. I'm just saying, I'm saying as a whole. I will not. I will not. I'm not going to individually go and claim to nobody that they're not depressed. But I will say, sweetheart, if you're feeling that way, you might need to go to the doctor.
Go get help.
And go and get a little bit help. Or go talk. And everything don't got to be clinically diagnosed to where you get no medicine. Go talk to a therapist. Sometimes.
But what if I don't have resources to do that? What if I don't have resources to do that? I just don't think we get to say what depression is to me, to you, to Renee, to Pat,
it's different levels.
I don't. If that feels depressive to you, to me, I may be thinking, well, you're just having a bad day. But if you feel, I think that's one thing we gotta either bring back to our culture, or if it wasn't there, instill it, is validation. I don't have to agree with anything that you say, but I need to validate it. If you think you depressed, if you think you feeling suicidal, if you just feel like today is the end of the world about something that I see as this big, but you see it as that big, then you know what? Let's talk, through this. You may not have, access to health insurance or, medical service or whatever. So if I'm a part of your village, I want you to know that you'll be able to talk to me. I think the thing with 2020 was, for how I saw 2020, people were able to see that if they weren't depressed, they were depressed because they didn't have to work like a dog at these jobs to get the work done. And then they could be home with their kids and have a work-life balance, and maybe sending them back to work is when you heard people talking about depression, because it's like, I'm home. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I know that some of us either have or have had some unhealthy work environments and would much rather be home with a laptop, getting, their work done. I would probably say I probably did more work during the pandemic working remotely than I did in the office because work didn't feel like work. I wasn't stressed out about this, stressed out about that. And I want to elaborate because I currently do have work stuff, but that I'm dealing with. But it was a healthy environment for me to be home, working in my space where I could control the narrative. Not I'm in control, but I got positive vibes here. I got positive vibes, positive energy. Like, I'm not being nitpicked. And I think I know when I went back to work, it was a shock. Yes, I was just there a year and a half ago, but you predisposed me to the fact that I could do my work here and I could be happy doing my work here. And my work didn't feel like work when I was at home in this office, doing it. So I think, and I did some own counseling for myself during that time and talked about different things with EAP services that all jobs don't offer, to say like this time at home made me aware of X, Y, and Z, and I need a plan. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to balance going back into an environment that I couldn't see was, let me frame this, that I didn't see wasn't ideal for me. You know what I mean? Like, being in this space is good for me. Being in that space, maybe not so much. So I think that's when that's a great
breakdown too. That's a really great breakdown of what of this comment, because when you broke down how it could be depression can come off to other people, yes, true indeed, because in validating that and making sure that you're not co-signing what they're saying versus validating what they're saying, there's a true difference. And I think a lot of times people get those two confused. I may not know,
or we put a negative thing on everything.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So but I as an add-on to your statement about your spaces and your workspaces and all that, I do think that 2020 did give us a time to see that certain things could be done, but that we knew that things could be done how they were done then. That's just not the norm anyway. You don't have these people paying all these high dollars for rent for these buildings for them to sit empty. They're not building these buildings for them to sit empty. They're building these buildings for people to come sit in them and work in them. So yes, 2020, because the pandemic was here, all that stuff was going on. That never meant that that was going to be the new norm. And I think that because people got like we so quick to fall into what's going on, that we think that okay, this how it is right now, so I like it like this, I hope they keep it like this. They can change it back like this in 2 weeks. And because that's when you work for somebody, that's just the way it goes. And that's what we have to continue to accept in this democracy, in this society, in this government business, that when you're working for anybody, what they have to do to make it comfortable for you to keep their job being performed is what they're going to do based on the terms of what society says that they can do. But just as sure as I can get back to the norm, we going back to the norm. And that's just how that goes. We work for people who run their own businesses. You got your own say, so you move how you want to move, you go how you want to go. But since the majority of this country works for somebody else, the majority of this country had the opportunity to have a break and be at home, and instead of being grateful for the opportunity,
the point that I was getting to, that you predisposed people to a different way that things that can be done. It didn't mean for me or anybody that sometimes we can put that negative spin to it, but it doesn't mean that people got comfortable and felt like they should never go back to work or had an issue with how their employer wanted to run it. People got a chance to, and while we all knew that it could be done, it had never been done. And so we showed these companies, it exposed these companies that these things could be done at home. And it exposed people to the fact that, hey, I may not want to go and work for you, and I may not be able to leave you now and go, but if this is what working from home or being in your own space looks like, then I may want to do
no part of it.
Yep.
Well,
And
so
look how
my
many
thing
work from
was
home
in
jobs.
that sense, it
And
just
look how many work from home
predisposed
jobs
people
were
to something
created because
different.
of
You
that.
got a chance to do something differently.
Look how many
That's
work
the
from
thing.
home jobs were created. Everything, it was so many jobs work from home were created for that, because so many people realize that, hey, we don't have to pay rent for this building. We can just let them work from home. They use their own utilities. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
I think too what happened. I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think what happened too is you found out how valuable you are as an employee. You really found out during COVID. You found out, bro, I make this business run.
Correct.
I'm the brains behind the everyday operations of this business. I make it run. And, you know, hey, I'm valuable. You know, like Sheila said, like, hey, like, do I want to work for you or do I want to stay home and work?
And it really showed us work-life balance. I've never been as work-life balanced during that time as I was.
But guess what? It also did too.
That's what I mean when I say, like, you know, people may have had sentiments about going back. It didn't change the fact that they had to go back. But a lot of people eyes open and moved a lot faster than I did. You know, I'm just now getting to a space where I can actually start a path of trying to work for myself and just for myself. You know, but it was for me in that moment, even though entrepreneurship was a thing before that, and I get it. It was during that time that I had work-life balance, and I was able to really check in with me and see, like, wait a minute, I got some untapped talents. You know, I got some degrees I'm sitting on. I got some skills that I could be using in a different capacity, and it exposed me to that. And then it did create that kind of like sentiments, you know, of now it's Sunday and, you know, the weekend is wrapping up for some of us. And it's time to go back to work Monday. That's how the transition back to from home to the office felt like. Okay, yeah, I knew that this wasn't long term, but I got so much balance and peace here. It's hard to walk away from it, even though I don't have a choice. I get it. But it was hard to walk away from that because it highlighted the stuff that I had been dealing with and not really validated or paid attention to or put into perspective. So
It
that's
gave you time to
where
see more.
that's in the
Time to see
context
more,
that I
do
needed it.
more, be more
Yeah.
attentive because your kids was home, you was home, everybody was home. So it
Yeah.
definitely gave the exposure more benefits. Yeah, it gave your opportunity to be there and be more exposed to what you needed to see, what your kids was lacking in, the things that you probably was lacking in with them. It was a lot of that happened. But it also, to get back even to the conversation, it also um um expose a lot of things in relationships. It brought either a lot of divorces or it
Mm-hmm.
brought a lot of took
People
more
together.
togetherness.
Mm-hmm.
It brought either separations. It got people to see what they wanted to see about who they were dealing with, that they were running from, things that they ignored before, they
Mm-hmm.
saw, because you saw it on a regular basis. If you got your wife and your husband both working from home, then now you learning a lot more about them.
Right.
You learning a lot more about your children. You learn a lot more about yourself. And we did see a whole lot of different marriages either end or begin during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of
Or
people either got
thrive.
stronger.
And
It
thrive.
got
Some
stronger. A
marriages
lot of them
thrive
got
during that
stronger.
time.
Yes, it's a lot of them got so much stronger. I talked to a lot of people in my
Yeah.
life coaching and life therapy sessions that actually 2020 was a benefit to their marriage.
That's good.
They needed that time, they needed that togetherness, they needed that exposure. So with that being said, what collectively we're learning that as a culture, that when we're together and doing things together, we grow better, we shine brighter, we have a better outcome to most of these situations that we go to through. When you can go to your partner and don't have to have a raising the voice conversation, y'all talk to each other, that's a normal thing. It starts to put a whole lot of different perspective in you yourself. How can we collectively treat each other better? I seen a couple people responding. I think Mr. Ronnie Ward said when we respect each other as men. And hold on, let me go up to the comment. I want to make sure I say it correctly because
I
he
need to
said
read this.
He said when
Said
men
to change
respect
the
women as
narrative
men.
of black women versus black men, we have to respect men as men and respect women
Agreed.
as women.
Totally
Um,
agreed.
oh my goodness, that should be so simple, right? I mean, because it should be so simple. Because
Yeah.
why don't we respect each other just as that person? Why do it's so many people that say you got to earn my respect? Why? If I don't know you, what did I do to you to have to want to be disrespected? If I
Correct.
say hello, that should be returned with a genuine hello. That's respect.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be, well, I gotta prove to you that I deserve that hello.
Or that's just how I am.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's just how I am. I'm
Yeah.
genuine.
Yeah. Like, no.
so
I just
so how
spoke.
do
Say
you
hi.
take the opportunity to collectively treat each other better? And that response is definitely a good one. We have to respect the man as the man and the woman as the woman, and that has to be done first and foremost anyway. If there's no respect, there's not going to be anything else that can blossom from that situation. What do you all think it would be a collective resonation to how we could be better?
It
I think
starts
we
with
need to respect. I'm
ourselves.
sorry.
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead, y'all. Go ahead,
No,
tackle it,
no.
tackle it.
I think it starts with ourselves. We get so consumed with what other people are doing. So let's just say starts with me. You know, if I speak to you, you don't speak back. Okay, I'm not gonna take it personal, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, will be like, okay, well, how did we get to this point? But just don't take it personal. But again, it just starts with yourself.
I think one of the ways that we get to what you just said, and I'm glad you went first, is that we don't get to know each other for ourselves. So you
Mm-hmm.
spoke to me and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't speak to you
Yep.
because Shelby told me about something that you said or you did,
Hello.
and
Yep.
I made that my thing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Nothing
Mm-hmm.
to do with me, but now
Mm-mm.
it's my thing and I have
Yep.
a problem, you know what I mean, with you.
Yeah.
And I have had people say, "Oh my God, I'm so glad I got the." And my husband,
Yes.
like,
Oh, I don't like that.
Yes.
my
I hate when
husband
people
have
say
said,
that. Then that automatically let me know that it's been discussion.
yeah, I've
Exactly.
had people tell me, I am so
Same.
glad that I got a chance to know you
Yep.
for myself because I thought you were this and I thought you were
Yep.
that. You didn't think that
Mhm.
because you didn't have
Yep.
any basis to think it on.
Nope.
You were told that.
Mm-mm. Mhm.
And I probably was exactly what those people said that I was, but they
Based
forgot to
on
tell you why.
hello
Yep.
somebody.
So yes, I can have an
Because it's not
attitude.
for no
Yes, I can
reason.
have a disposition about me.
Hmm.
Yes, I might see somebody that you just saw me with 3 months ago and not speak. But there's a why. And if you ask me the why, I can tell you the why and them the why. And I tell my kids, don't ever say anything once you can't say twice. There is no
That's right.
let me tell you something is between me and you, because it's not.
Mm-mm.
You know,
Correct.
of course, in some relationships it is, spouse, best friends, or whatever. But the general consensus is you got to be able to stand on whatever it is you said. So before we
Correct.
can get into the aspects of black men versus black women and husband and wives and single and all of that, we just have a core foundation of respect for each other just as individuals. You got to get to know people for, yourselves and build your own
That's
Hmm.
correct.
relationship with them. Because my experience with Shelby, Xavier, or whatever all of us are going to have a different experience with
Different
each other
experience. Yep.
based off of where we connect or don't connect.
Yep.
And it don't make the experience fake. It don't make one experience
Correct.
different from the other. It's just gonna be different. His experience with you may be totally different just because of what I was able to bring out of him because of
Hmm.
my
Absolutely.
personality.
People say,
Your
I'm the same person
personality.
all the time. That's
Yep.
true, but everybody is not going to get the same version of you.
No.
Exactly.
So
But
your
I got a question.
values and qualities
I
are
got a
the
question. Like,
same.
even though you say everybody not gonna get, but if I'm genuine, I don't know, and no, it's no attack.
This is what
But
I mean, and this may
this
help. Okay, like
okay,
I may
okay,
be a
okay,
turn
okay.
up person, right? Me and Renee may get together and we may turn up and have a good time. But that's not Shelby's personality. Shelby
Yeah.
likes to watch first 48 crime movies. That's something that I like to do. So that's where me and her gonna connect. Me and you
Hmm.
are
Okay.
married. So me and you can do couple stuff. We can go out to eat. We could travel. Renee not gonna want to do that with me because it's gonna be a third wheel. You see what I'm saying? I don't mean it like that because
But I go.
No,
You
no,
know
no,
I
no, no,
go.
no, 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 no.
yeah. So that's what
From
I
that
mean. Not in the
Yeah.
sense of like
changing
my
my
character,
identity, my
my
character. Okay,
integrity,
Right.
okay, okay,
No.
values.
okay.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Not
Yeah.
that.
but I'm gonna be able to
Maybe
do
I was
different
looking
things.
too hard.
Yeah. So Shelby may say, I ain't never seen Sharika turned up. Well, you don't like to go out. So
That's
Yeah.
right.
I
You'll
can't
never
help
see
that.
it.
I'm gonna
You
get
see
a
what I'm
different. I'm gonna
saying?
get a different version of you. That's why I said in the beginning when they say birds of a feather flock together. That's not necessarily true because each one of your friends bring a different substance to your life.
Hmm.
Nobody. I'm my friends. Any person in my life. You don't even have to be a friend. You're definitely going to get what you get from me. That because that's what I want you to have. It ain't about me not being genuine. It's simply because I have realized in your character and your personality, I learned you enough to know what I need to expose of me to you. I'm not going to give you all of me or this type of me when I know for a fact that that's not something that's going to be helpful to you, especially if you've told me stories of letting me know that this is might be something you've suffered from or this might be something you've suffered from. I'm not going to do none of that around you because I don't want you to have a relapse or a bad experience. So it's just you
Mhm.
once you read people and learn who they are and what they are to you, you learn how to be who you I mean, you know what part of you is for them.
And if
Everybody
I
don't
can
deserve.
add, tell Patrick he is not gonna this little shady comment he made by my girl being a third wheel. Renee is my girl in real life, Patrick. I will not take
Y'all know
this
nothing bothers
slander.
me. Absolutely nothing bothers me. Y'all know I don't even care.
I had to put it up there because I knew I said, "Why?" I said, "This man
And
here
you
so
left
funny."
it up there.
And laughing, you see that?
Yeah. Y'all know I don't
Yeah,
even
you put
care.
it up there and left it. My girl is not a third wheel at
Nope. Never
all.
will be.
And
I actually
single
had
by
forgot it.
choice.
I actually had forgot I had put it up there.
Tell
But
Patrick
no,
he has to know my
so
personality to know I'm joking too.
Yeah.
right. And he know, I know Patrick knows that. So collectively, we know that respect is going to be key.
Yeah.
We know that we're going to always have to be understanding to people who we're dealing with. But I will also say, after respect, that you got to have that empathetic personality, that empathy
Yes.
about who
Agreed.
you are as a not just a woman, but as a mother, as a person, a sister, a friend. If I'm not an empathetic person, because I don't have to have been through what you've been through, but I can have understanding and respect for it to know that
Yes.
you are suffering in certain type of ways. Um, so we do have to have that. I do think empathy is important. What do you all think about what is another thing that we would need to bring to for a collective stance on this, to respect someone? We can't put them in situations that they aren't comfortable. That's what respect
True.
is.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Realistic
so many.
expectations.
Chandra said empathy for everyone looks different. So expound on that. When you drop a comment like that, Chandra, you know you got to go deeper. That ain't what
That
empathy.
was loaded.
The definition of it is one way. So if we know that we know it can look different for different people, but for you to
Well,
drop that bomb like that, you got to definitely give me some expansion. How would it look different for different people?
Would that be like in time when you say empathy, and correct me, like, I'm a teachable person. I'm connecting empathy to like people's love language. Is that the same thing or is that something different? Because I even think
Somebody.
about my kids, their love language is different. Like my younger son needs to touchy feely. He needs to be on me, under me, or whatever. And my oldest son he just either knows it because I've told it to him, or he knows it because he feels it. So is that what she's saying about like empathy being different from other people, or did I just kind of take it left?
You just define how your kids wouldn't how it looks on your family. That's what you defined it as, what it looks like more for them, and how you feel like what their emotion of
But
empathy.
is that empathy or is it just love language? Is that like the
It's,
same
it's,
thing or
That's a
two
it's
different
language.
things?
it's
it,
the
it,
language
it's
of
it's
who
Yeah,
they
okay.
are.
That's
it's
what I was really asking.
it,
Okay.
Yes.
to be
So
honest, it's everything intertwined because like I'm for real. So it's something that I do every day that I go back and I read. Right. So I like to read the Bible. So that's kind of one of my things. But when we speak of love, love it's empathy, but love is so big because they say love is patient, love is kind, love does not boast, love is not prideful, love perseveres, love is not deceitful, and so many other things. So it's so many realms that when it comes to love, and it's not that I deal with you different. Like I feel like my love or my empathy should not be different. Me personally, to each person. If I'm that genuine person, bro, I'm gonna love from A to Z the same because everybody's gonna get the same version of me. Why? Because that's who I am. That's who my identity is. That's who my character is. So you're not gonna be able to say that, oh, Xavier is like this on the south side, or Xavier's like this on the north side, or Xavier's like this on the east side, or Xavier like this on the west side. No, you're gonna get one version of me.
I think you're taking the version thing differently. I think you're not your example of version of you is not when we say that a person how you are with how she is with Tamika may not be how she is with me. That doesn't mean her personality changes. That means that the things that she gets to exhibit with Tamika is not going to
Mm-hmm.
be the same as she exhibits with me. We know her for the personality. That's strong. That's going to be
Yeah,
out there, point blank, period. Once you know the person that you're dealing with.
yeah, but
So
I'm only gonna hang with like-minded people.
no,
I am.
no, I'm not. No, that's not what. But oh no, that's what you're saying. Yes,
Yeah.
but that's not what we're not. We're not saying that. We're not saying that. just
Okay.
because your version of giving who you are is because you want to be around like-minded people only, that's your version of who you're going to, what you're
Mm-hmm.
going to expound on and who you're going to be. But as people, when you're dealing, when you're in a, and I'm going to say to that, for one, I'm going to say keep living. I'm going to say that to that, because you never, and I know you can't be that way because you have children that are different. So your children are going to get different bits and pieces of you. Neither one of your children are going to get the same one of you on a regular basis.
Right.
Um I want to break, I want to say this in the most
Say it.
what is it, Webster
Yeah,
like
go
way.
ahead and say. Go ahead and
Yes.
say.
But
Go ahead and say.
you have, if you think that you can give everybody the same of who you are, then that's not real.
Mm-mm.
That's what I want to say. That's not
Why
real,
would? Why wouldn't it?
because
So you're comfortable, like with your job. Like I know at my job, I come in, I'm sociable to everybody. I do my work and I go home. That is not my place where I let my hair down and they get to see a personal side of me. They are exposed to the personal or the professional side of me. So what I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
do in my job setting and what I'm going to do when I'm with Renee is what I call her Tamika. I'm sorry. When I'm with Mika, it's gonna be different because that's a certain comfort level. Well, Shelby, because everybody's gonna, I feel, and I want to go back to the like-minded thing too. I feel like whether our paths cross often or whatever, there are parts of me that Tamika brings out. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
we have a very goofy side of us where we did the whole Monica rendition thing when they had the little battle thing, and I don't know the proper thing of it, but that's not something that I would be comfortable doing with my other friends because they're not comfortable being raw and in that space and on social media making these videos and singing off key and laughing and having a good time. That's where me and her connect. Then there's a side of Shelby that's she's gonna bring out in me and I'm gonna bring out in her. We are gonna bring out different things in each other. That doesn't mean I'm not as good as
Being
friend, if
genuine.
you will, with
Correct.
Shelby than I am with her. We just have different things that we can do together and different parts of our personality and character that we can bring out. And then it's stuff we could all talk about that's the same. We could all talk about being Black women. We could all talk about having kids, being in relationships, being married at one, point or another or whatever.
So basically, we're talking about being compatibility.
all that.
Perhaps, but when we say
But
version,
those are two,
I don't
but
want
those
to
are
say
two.
that one is less authentic than
No,
the
I'm not.
other.
No,
It's
no,
just
no,
different.
no. I'm not saying that is that is different or that is indifferent. What I'm saying is that if I'm an empathetic person, bro, I'm empathetic to everybody. It's not about me hanging out with you, but when I'm saying you're gonna get the same version, whether I like you or not, if I'm an empathetic person, I'm
I
gonna
think that's
help
the
you.
part we missed when you were saying that. We took it as if your version,
Yeah.
because like me and you are
No.
not friends, and whoever your
Yeah.
friend is going to get a different
Yeah.
version of you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know
Oh
what
yeah.
I
Now,
mean?
you're right. I communicate with my friends on different levels. I don't
Mhm.
communicate with this friend about this, about that. But guess what?
Correct. Yes.
I have a listening ear if somebody calls me and they say, Xavier, I'm feeling down.
Okay, so that was a
That
better breakdown of it, because we
that don't change. That about me, that identity, that character, that don't change.
correct.
I listen to a
And that's,
bomb if
yeah,
he
I
want to
think we
talk.
all on the same path with that part.
Okay.
It was the
Yeah.
version, because I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
it's some sides of me that some people will never be
Would never
exposed
be
to.
able to see.
Because you
But
don't
even
Exactly.
even
with
Yeah.
empathy,
Oh
even
yeah.
with
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
empathy,
Right.
even with
yeah.
empathy, it can't even be the same with everybody though. Like everybody can't get that form of empathy because of the simple fact that that situation may not cause for the same empathy you gave to that
Right.
situation. So
Yeah.
yes,
But
you
if
can
they
be empathetic to people, but you're never going to give the same version of empathy to everybody. Like that's why I just said, when you're dealing with your children, what Xavier may stomp his toe and go right on by his business. He don't need me to kiss it. But Amber or Tamika might need me to kiss her toe before she keep moving. So our levels of empathy for those children are going to be different. You might feel internally that if Xavier and both Tamika both came up to me, I'm going to love on them the same. Yes, but deep each one of them are showing you what they need.
But I think
Empathy is not given based on what you want to give. Empathy is given based on what that person needs.
So it's the empathy about you responding. Even though I got 3 kids, even though my son might need a different version of emotion and love,
right?
But me being empathetic is for me to respond. Hey, are you okay? I'm going to ask every kid,
your
are they
response
okay?
is going to be based on his emotion. So is his emotions going to be different from the next child's emotion? So that's what I'm saying. That's why I say you can't.
I think we missing what he's saying. He's saying, I get it when he just said that.
How he responds.
He's going to be empathetic. I'm not going to be less empathetic to you or more empathetic to the next person. My empathy is going to be same across the board. How I meet your empathetic need is going to be different, but I'm not going to be less empathetic to the people on the south side.
That's why I said we're saying the same thing. Your empathy that you're giving is going to be based on what that person needs. So how you respond is going to be based on what they need. That's the same thing. There's no in correlation with that. I think that the way he was interpreting it may have been a little different, but there's no difference in that. You're going to respond to your son based on what type of need he needs.
Yes.
You're still giving that empathy. And that's what empathy is. It's based on the person. It's not based on us. So yes, you're going to be empathetic to everybody because that's who you are, right? Giving love and empathy. But the way you give it is going to be based on that person who needs it. You can't give the same level of empathy. That's all I was saying. That's why I gave the thing with how each one of them might bump their toe. One of them may not need no empathy. One of them may just need, you all right? You okay? All right then. And go on about your business. The other one may need you to rub it, be baby, it may have to go deeper. So it's the person who's receiving the empathy is going to be based on how you are. So when Chandra when she made that statement earlier, that's how I took her statement. Empathy is going to be given differently because it's going to be received differently based on the person who desires that empathy. It's never going to be the same with each person that's involved in the situation. So we're definitely going to be empathetic people, and however they desire it to be is going to be how they desire it to be. But it's going to be what that person desires, what that person needs, not what we think we need to give them. So if we're giving off respect and empathy, that means that we're showing a side to people that would collectively say that you are respected, you are cared for. And our community lacks, at least we know it lacks respect and empathy. It definitely lacks shame. I heard the brothers speak earlier on here. Patrick said bring back shame, and it because where is it, baby? Ain't nobody got it no more. Ain't no shame no more. Like literally, people just they just dispel everything. So I think that, and I don't think it's shame, I think it's pride. We need to continue to have a pride for ourselves and our communities, to definitely be able to end a lot of this negativity between Black men and Black women. And the pride where one feels stronger or better than the other one. Because that's what we getting out here now. It's like, I'm better. I could be a better Black woman than you can be a better Black man. What?
Yeah. Like how?
I don't know. I think that we definitely the stuff that we are saying that we know we need to work on to pull it back to bring to the community is not as easy as it would seem. Yeah. We know respect is supposed to be something that we already have anyway. We know that empathy is something we're supposed to have anyway. We know that pride and confidence in us as a person is something we're supposed to have anyway, but we lack it because we feel like other things trump it, like money. So anybody got any closing thoughts to this collective resignation for Black people? We got to end this. We got to end this beef. And we will say a lot of times that it's not a situational. It's a beef. I mean, it's not a all around thing. It's situational. But if we face this on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis, where we see it either floating down our timeline, we see it in physical, we see it on online or whatever, wherever we're seeing the hatred being spewed about each other and we participate in it, we're just as guilty, for one.
Yep.
So that's big. If you are so against seeing the Black people be negative toward each other, we should not see you participating in it. But we also should see a more positive light being shed in these images. Like if the show that y'all spoke of earlier being canceled because they were only going to let, if you ain't showing us in a positive light, we don't want to be messed up with y'all. If we start to do that more often, if we start to see ourselves as the power, start seeing the power within, that would be beneficial. That means that even when it comes to y'all saying, when we say it starts at home, that means that we have to be teaching our kids about that type of power. That's why I was saying earlier, like, while we're teaching them about going into the world to be prepared, of how to live in the world, we also have to teach them how to be a benefit to the world, to the people around them. It's not just about what you can gain from people, it's about what people can gain from you. Because remember, everybody ain't raised with two parents in the household that are giving their kids everything that they need. So be that person that can give it to somebody else. Raise your kid to be that person too. That's keeping the village consumed with goodness. We keep forgetting about the village. So, all right. Y'all got any closing thoughts for us?
I think to answer your question on that is, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I would think that it would be the Black man has to step up more. I know we've been taught that we should compromise, but it's a lot of things that Black men we don't step up on. And I feel like this generation, we as Black men, we haven't stepped up. We haven't stepped up. We haven't put our foot down as in like, if you a king, bro, I need you to respond like a king. Respond like a king. It might hurt. It might bring a little confusion. But at the end of the day, respond like a king. Respond like a king. Like, it's just so much that's going on. And I think we silenced ourselves because of past teachings that, oh, we shouldn't complain, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that, or just our views, our perspective is our reality. But I feel like if the Black man and the Black culture step up, the culture changes. The culture changes. I'm pretty sure it's probably plenty of women that say like, well, if you lead, I follow. If you lead,
you got a lot of women that want to say, I lead and you follow.
You got to step up though.
It's going to be a together thing. Ronnie made a really good point right here. He said Black women need to say, I need you, just like Black men need to say, I need you. It has to be. We're weak without one another. I will say that we cannot be a combative. We can't be combative.
No, you can't. You can't. But at the end of the day, I know it's a hierarchy that comes to this, bro. Black men got to step up.
Well, if I think so, but I believe both of us. It's accountability on both.
I'm gonna take accountability for the black man. I'm not a woman, so I don't know how a woman feels. You see what I'm saying? I don't know how a woman feels. We just talk about it being empathetic, right? So
but
I don't know.
But if we're saying that we gotta have, if we're saying that
the black man
if
got to
we're
step
saying
up.
that the black man saying, "I need you,"
I need
to
help.
black woman.
Yeah.
That if it's a vice versa thing with that, then that means that it's gonna take both of them to actually make it a stable
Correct.
situation.
It's gonna take
Because
both parties,
we sit up
but
here
I'm gonna
right
take
now
accountability, and I'm gonna say the black man got to step up. We let too much. Like, I hate to sound arrogant. The black man and the black culture is letting too much shit slide. Bro, you gotta fucking step up. I'm so sorry.
Black
I'm
man lost.
passionate.
Listen. Let me respond to that real quick before we go. Black men lost a lot of their power when the government became the parent. So when we sit up and say that black men have to step up, that means that black women have to also take the accountability of why black men have stepped down. There's a lot of different things. So we do have to. This is just a collective thing. It has to be done together. There's not gonna be. It's not gonna be where the black man has to step up first anymore, because at this point he's been silenced in so many situations. So we gotta, if we're gonna be understanding to that, we have to be honest with the situation. There are times that black men don't get no respect out here. You gotta, you are walking into a situation and they'll say hey to the woman and ask the woman what she want before they even acknowledge the man. So it happens. So it has to be a collective thing. We as the black woman and the black man have to lean on each other first. And that has to start with the respect and accountability. And we can't go around that by saying what the black man got to do more than what the black woman has to do.
Correct.
We both F this situation.
Together.
We both F it up. And we both got caught up in
I'm speaking from the black. I'm a black man.
Yeah, you're
I'm a black.
speaking as Xavier Ward, and that's understandable. I'm not changing your statement. I don't want you to change that. I like what you said, but I'm just saying that if we just said it has to be a collective thing, so we can't say it has to be collective, but the black man has to do it first.
Oh yeah, he got to do it first. Look, I'm gonna be for real. He has to do it first. A lot of black men don't know who they are. Bro, you are a spiritual warrior. You cannot run your family if you're not in tune with God. Man was here on earth first. So the black man got to get to know themselves, know who they are in Christ. Know who you are in Christ, and it'll work out better. You got to step up, bro. You got a position that you got to take. We're not on the wall. You got to step up, because guess what? The black, she's going to challenge you. She's going to bring the best out of you. We spoke that. I'm not going to connect with somebody that's not going to bring the best out of me. So I need to be fully equipped spiritually, emotionally. The black man got to step up, man. We let too much shit. We let too much stuff slide.
That great. Well, we're gonna have a part 2 to this. We'll come back. We're gonna come back another day, but we're gonna have a part 2 to this. Let me see. Hold on. Let me. Okay, I agree with that. You on that? She talking about what you said biblically. If black men just arbitrarily step up, then we are both fighting for the same spot. We continue to collapse. You are telling men that don't know who they are to step up. So
through meditation.
Same. That's the same. I feel like it's a collective thing, though. I do feel that way. I think that we all agree that it starts with the respect and the respect for each other. It has to start there, because if we don't see each other as equals and as the kings and the queens that we supposed to be, or the gods and goddesses, whatever you want to call it, if you don't see that, if you don't look at that black man and see that him as that, and if he don't look at that black woman and see him as that, there'll never be a respect situation there or a balance to even want to step up to. You got to have that it has to be something that we are showing each other as to why it's so important for us to value each other, and that's what we got to get back to. We gotta come together first. I agree that we are letting too much shit slide. Yes, yes, yes. Gotta be spiritually in tune with self and both. Correct. All right. I thank y'all so much for being a part of today's panel. Again, I'm going to definitely reach back out to y'all when we take on another conversation and do this. I agree that that there is more to discuss with this. Yeah, I know. And I want y'all to make sure that y'all do y'all parts out here in these communities and make sure y'all stay focused on what y'all supposed to be doing as leaders and not of y'all houses, of y'all lives, and of whatever y'all got going on. All right. We're gonna keep it positive. We're gonna bring y'all back another time and have another conversation, dig a little bit deeper. Okay. Thank y'all again for tuning in. Y'all enjoy y'all families. It has gotten late. Y'all get to y'all people. I don't want to keep y'all away any longer. I thank y'all so much. Truly. Y'all enjoy y'all night.
You too.
All right. Peace.
Peace out.